This speaker has been recorded at a meeting of Addictive Eaters Anonymous. For more information, visit our website www.aeainfo.org.
I'm Louise, I'm an addictive eater. I thought that I would start with a little reading from As Bill Sees It. It's just a great little reading from page 181 called Imaginary Perfection. When we early AAs got our first glimmer of how spiritually prideful we could be, we coined this expression, "Don't try to be a saint by Thursday." That old-time admonition may look like another of those handy alibis that can excuse us from trying for our best. Yet a closer view reveals just the contrary. This is our AA way of warning against pride blindness and the imaginary perfections that we do not possess. Only step one, where we made the 100% admission that we were powerless over alcohol, can be practiced with absolute perfection. The remaining 11 steps state perfect ideals. They are goals towards which we look and the measuring sticks by which we estimate our progress. And that first little reading was from the Grapevine and the second from 12 and 12. So I've been thinking about perfectionism and the incredible completeness, 100% completeness of step one, and what a miracle that is. What a miracle. And I absolutely see that in my life. The other steps I practice the best I can on a daily basis, but step one, somehow I 100% surrendered and God was able to do for me what I couldn't do for myself, which was to stop me eating. Because I couldn't stop. I couldn't not do it. I couldn't slow down or diet or take a break. I just had to eat. And I obviously reached a point, and it was kind of when I came in here, where I knew that I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't figure out what I was meant to eat, how I was meant to eat, what to eat, what a normal portion looked like, what was right, what was wrong. I didn't know anymore. I just didn't know anymore. And I was very tired. I was very tired of the ups and the downs of life and the eating life and the misery that went with that. So I don't even remember anything amazing happening. This is the thing. It's like this total surrender because the problem has been removed. That is my experience of a number of years now, is that the problem has been removed. So how is it that has happened so completely in that area, and yet there's all these other areas in which I would love the problem to be completely removed, and it isn't. I don't know if it's because food, there was just enough pain, there was just so much pain and misery in my life that went with the eating. That being driven to the end has only happened in that area, and with my other character defects and other things in my life, it's never clearly got bad enough. But I'm so grateful that eating got bad enough and that I had to come in here and have that open mind and be prepared to listen, to give up my old ideas. Wow, that was quite something, because I had 37 years of old ideas that were pretty firm and strong, but they'd all failed me, which was great. Unbeknownst to me, that was the place to be. It was that complete failure of everything. So I was willing to hear, I was willing to take actions that I couldn't necessarily see the sense of. I didn't necessarily think they were a great idea. Getting down on my knees in the morning, handing my life and my will over to a higher power, that seemed like an okay idea, but reading, I was given readings to read. I had to read those readings every day, and I read those readings every day for years. I wouldn't necessarily have chosen to do that, but I did it. And I did a gratitude list. And that gratitude list was something I also did, maybe for a couple of years. Every single night, what was I grateful for? And sobriety had to be the top of my list. I'd never been disciplined in any way. I'd always wanted to write diaries or do things for a while, never been able to, but the gratitude list, somehow I could keep the gratitude list going. And so the gratitude list was going. I was ringing people. It was painful. It was difficult. I didn't know why I was ringing them, because I knew absolutely what everything in the big book was about. And so why did I need to hear anyone's experience? So it took me a while to realise that I didn't know everything that was in the big book. I mean, okay, I understood the words, but I didn't know. I didn't know how to live. And that was a hard thing to admit. So the pride in me that wanted to feel that I had my life together, and I presented that mask to the world, someone who's got their life together. So to ring people and ask how to do things, even simple things, that was painful. It was painful. And ringing my sponsor every day, reading out my food plan, trying to think of something to talk to my sponsor about, taking my sponsor's suggestions, hearing things I didn't want to hear, my sponsor telling me that I was to brush my hair before I came to meetings. I was 37, and he was my sponsor telling me what to do. It was really so hard. Yet, amazingly enough, I was so beaten that I was prepared to do that. It was just astonishing. So days went by and I wasn't having to eat, and I was coming to meetings, and I was talking to people, and I was talking to people who were newer than me, and I was starting to work the steps, and it was good. It was hard, but it was good. I remember being very grateful when the time down the track I got to that point of that deep acceptance in my heart of being an addict, an addictive eater, that really turned everything from being a bit of a chore and kind of quite tough to knowing that it was absolutely the right way to live and to be. So other aspects of my life, it gets better, everything gets better, everything is better. One of the biggest gifts for me, apart from not eating, is that reconnection with a higher power. I've had lots of old ideas around higher power as well, and in fact I'm going to America in October, and I'm going to spend a week at a retreat with the spiritual master, which will be fantastic. But after years and years and years of having gurus and spiritual masters and reading spiritual stuff and listening to spiritual stuff, I'm kind of at this point now where I'm not listening to any spiritual stuff at all. I kind of feel like I'm at the point where I just want to live each day super simply. I just want to be in the day and keep it all really, really simple. Yesterday's whatever, gone. Today, I just want to do what I do, be how I am, speak how I do, take the actions that I take, and trust that it's informed by my higher power and by the principles of this program. I have to look at my day and see, well, is that all in my day? And I had a bit of an ordinary day today. I was working from home. But yesterday I was out at an aged care facility with an auditor, and we did this 10-hour day. It was massive. But it was really, really lovely because I was amongst a lot of people, and it was just really nice to be part of and to not have really much self-consideration at all. And talking to this lovely woman in her 80s. She was one of 22 children, 20 brothers, and there were two girls and 20 boys, and 16 of her brothers are dead. I just thought, my God, just amazing, amazing. And she'd grown up, they'd been very poor, and she said every penny was a prisoner. And I felt like, oh yeah, I'm a bit like that these days, actually. It's just so nice to look at people and see them. They are my fellows as well. You're my tribe, but they are also my tribe. And at one point I was looking in the dining room of the non-dementia people. They were lovely, clean and tidy, chatting to each other, got great. Went into the dementia dining room, a bit more dishevelled. Nobody was really talking to anybody else. Everybody's a bit sort of blank, but they all have their higher power. They're all God people and God's people and my brothers and sisters, and I love that. I love being part of the human race. Really such a privilege. And then part of the audit process was, there was 2 auditors actually. They got the lunch that the residents have to test what the food's like, because of course the residents were pretty happy about everything except the food, and that's pretty common. And so I said, I don't need the meal. Of course I had my meal with me, and the 3 of us sat at the table and I ate my meal, and I kind of slightly registered that chicken was sort of on their plate, and then they had desserts as well. And I don't even remember registering what the desserts were. We were talking, and it was like, that's how little interest I have in food. And it's a complete miracle. I'm so incredibly grateful that I've had that 100% reprieve from eating, and am free from the want to eat, the obsession. I'm so grateful that the rest of my life is still a work in progress, but it has all the elements and components of the amazing life that is possible here in sobriety. So I'll keep coming. Thanks, Janelle.